touring around is really, really fun. We have a lot of fun on the road. We sit and joke and laugh and cut up, and we all have a goofy side that we share.
We're really close. We're always laughing, having a good time, joking around. Okay, ready?
I'm ready when you are. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Just do it how you want to do it.
I didn't.
Okay, ready?
Okay. I run to you, yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Oh. I thought you were
Josh has always
No,
loved
good.
music, even when he was real small. At that point, we knew that he had a calling on his life. We knew that one day that the Lord was going to use him.
You're right. We used to have these big family get-togethers whenever I was a kid, and there'd be about 300 to 400 people at our house, and our family would just get together and make music on the holidays. I know all this played a huge part in me wanting to pursue music. When I was 15, I was a part of a youth choir, and Misty and Terry Ireland were my youth leaders. At that time, I was very shy, and I sung in front of no one, and me being in the very back where nobody could hear me. Anyway, Misty Ireland, which is the youth leader, overheard, and she came over there and she's like, you know, you're gonna sing that part.
To be so shy and so backwards, he was like, no, I can't do it. First time he sung, if you remember, it was like this, literally, and holding the mic, literally, straight up and down, and shaking. And that night that he sung the song, Thank You for Giving to the Lord, we were like, oh my gosh, you got so anointed that night. It was just like, oh my gosh, it was like the Lord had opened a door of just like rivers of living water that night. I mean, the way that it poured down on you, it was just like so amazing.
Beside the crystal seas.
At that point, I knew that this is exactly what I feel my calling is. After 2 years of being in the youth choir, I started, feeling God calling us into a ministry of our own. So we came up with the name, The Faithful Chosen. The Faithful Chosen sang together for about 3.5 years, I believe. It consisted of C.J. Chastain, Candace Maddox, Hillary Hill, and Tara Webb. Within our time together as a group, we recorded 4 cover CDs. I truly believe in seasons in life, and I believe that Faithful Chosen was a foundation for my music career, but also a great learning experience. Toward the end of the group, we really felt God leading us into our individual callings. And we planned this big old final concert to, really show appreciation for everybody that had been so supportive of the ministry throughout the years. Really decided then that it was time to start working on a solo album. After that, from that point on, it was just like songs were coming to me, one after another. And I started looking for studios to record at. I ran across this guy named Dustin Jenkins, and he was located in Nashville. We really read each other well, and it was kind of like a divine meeting. So I signed a contract for 2 albums with him, and we started working on Through the Storm, my first solo.
My past, I know I'm yours and I'm free at last, and I will sing praises to your throne.
So we sold over 300 pre-orders on the album before the album was even released. The album released on September 1st, 2009. It was entitled Through the Storm. The album really took off. It really started selling well. And during that time, I mean, it was like social media really started taking off. MySpace was popular during that time. Facebook started taking off and started getting a lot of followers on that. I mean, in YouTube, getting a lot of views. It was just like God was really starting to open huge doors.
The way I met Josh, my mother had gone to a revival and she heard Josh sing. So I went one night to the revival and I was really impressed with his ministry and with his singing, with his talent, but mainly because he was so sincere about the Lord. So I invited Josh to be on the program.
I was nothing, just a beggar, as low as I
And
could
wanting
be.
guests to come on the program, of course, we didn't want just entertainers to come on, because entertainers, you can go to Nashville and they're everywhere. But we wanted somebody that was anointed of God, that had talent. And I'm telling you, when we found Josh and when he came on the program, Tammy he'd been on the Dixie Sunshine program before, but the anointing of God is just all over him. And it just fit right into the format of Joyous Living Today, because that anointing is what breaks the yoke. It destroys what the devil has done and brings joy into the hearts of the believer.
One little sheep, I'm so unworthy for you to love me.
2 years after the release of Through the Storm, we released my second solo album entitled Unworthy. So Tara Webb came back on the road with me for this tour, and my friend Ron Gilreath.
Victory is staring at me. I know the one who sets me free. I'm no longer held down by Satan's dark chains. For this victory standing back.
My cousin Destiny grew up in the same household as I did. My grandmother helped raise her, so she was really more like a little sister to me than she was my cousin. She was very shy. My grandmother and I brought her into singing in front of the crowd.
He'll be your everything.
He'll be your sunshine on a rainy day.
He'll be your
I've been with Josh throughout his whole music career, but I've always been behind the scenes until that night that Josh told me that he wanted me to start opening for him and Restoration while on their tour. I was very honored.
Once the Unworthy tour was over, I really started getting songs coming to me. I was hearing her voice singing. I had been inspired to write these songs for her.
One day, after a few years of opening for Josh, he asked me if I would like to start touring with him full time, and I was thinking, okay, what is you taking? Like, this cannot be real. Somebody pinch me.
We started working on a new album called Embrace. Wrote a lot of the songs on it.
I remember one night, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and Josh had called me up into his room to listen to part of a song that he had written me called One Strand. And after he stopped playing it, I was just like, ooh, almost brought into tears. It was beautiful. I like whistle tone. Okay. If I could just touch one little strand.
Mm-hmm.
If I could just touch, I know he'd understand.
Okay, harmony, here we go.
I know even on my knees, pushing my way towards thee. Just one touch will be all that I need. If I could just touch him, he'd be all that I need.
All that I
If I could just touch him,
Get it
he'd
over.
be all that I need. If I could just touch him. After Josh had finished writing, it was time to go to the studio. I mean, I've been to the studio before, but I've never been in the booth, laying down my vocals and actually getting to be a part of the project.
The winds may blow, the seas may roll, but there's one thing I know is that you're
After we finally finished the album, it was time for photo shoots, time for shooting music videos, preparing for our CD release party, doing our tour dates. I mean, it was a lot. It's very stressful, but I wouldn't trade it for anything, and I cannot wait to see what God has in store for our ministry.
You know, bookings started coming in. We're singing in venues like Six Flags, TBN, Lake Winnebagosa, places that we had never thought that, you know, we'd be able to sing in. You know, it was just like, you know, we were getting calls and people were booking us and they were loving the music and feeling inspired and touched by the music. That's the most important thing, you know, about the songs that I write. I really want people to feel something from. I really want them to be able to connect with and relate with. One of my best friends is Corey Will. He was doing his own thing in music.
I hired Josh to film a music video that I was working on at the time. He was telling me about you know, the projects that he was working on, and he had an idea for this decade tour coming up, and you know, I was a producer, and so it just seemed like the stars were aligned for us to work together because, you know, we both needed something that the other one had.
And I was like, you know, he would be a great asset to our ministry.
He brought me on with a project that he was working on with Gerald Crabb with A&G Platinum Records.
He went out and found this song called Singing the Pain, which was written by a friend named Jonathan Nash. It was the first single that we ever released to radio.
Once we finished that track, and he kind of saw how I worked, you know, he was very intrigued to work with me, and I him. The initial agreement with us was that I was going to be on as the sound man. So the first couple of shows that I did with Josh were doing sound, and he asked me if I wanted to do background vocals for him, and I said sure.
In 2015, it marked a decade since the ministry had began, since my music career had began. So we wanted to do something special, and we were like, you know, let's do a decade tour. So we really started getting booked quite a bit on this tour.
It's such a wonderful feeling when you're on stage and you're picking up that energy from, you know, the audience. And you know, the comments that they make afterwards about it, it's really, really uplifting, and it's touching, and it's a beautiful thing. And you know, people will come up and tell us, you know, how our songs have made a difference in their lives, and that's what makes it all worth it. That's what makes what we do so rewarding. Well, our plans for the future are pretty bright. We're working on a new album right now. We've got a couple songs coming to radio. Right now, we are planning to release a new album in 2016. It's really, really exciting, and it's going to be a whole new vibe. It's going to be something that no one has seen before from the Neymans and from Josh. And I also look forward to working with Destiny. We've got some tracks lined up for her. And her vocal ability is awesome, and I think a lot of her best has yet to be seen. It's something that's really going to be the cherry on top for this album. So it's good, and I'm glad that I'm able to be part of this, because it's something where we all kind of we all are able to bring in our own bits of creativity to the project.
And we just want everybody to stay tuned. You know, there's so many great things, and I can't wait to see what all God has in store. Okay, can you play that one back again?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good, huh? Yeah.